Hello and welcome to another Eve Steve Green Legion tutorial. This time I'm going to be running you through how to probe these green anomalies you see in space. Yes, anomalies. You can warp to them freely if you wanted to. I could start flying towards the thing because it's the thing. But these red ones, the cosmic signatures, we don't know specifically where those are. So they would have to be scanned down and found. Yes. Just like the green ones, you can see them existing in space, but they have this 3-character, then numerical code to identify them until you scan it down and find out what it actually is. So, I'm floating around in an empty ship doing nothing. We need to fix that. Exploration is one of the 3 main routes you could have vicariously picked through creating a character, so hopefully if you really wanted to get into this you have the prerequisite skills. Ooh, excuse me. To use the basic ships, each of the 4 starter races does have one of these ships specifically for this job in Tier 1. I'm using the Magneti, however you want to go about pronouncing that one, is the Amara version. Oh, they're all next to each other. The Heron is the Caldari one, Imicus for Galente, and Probe for Minmatar. Fun fact, if you put max cargo expanders on the Probe or that one, you can get over 1,000 M3 in a cargo hold, which is nice if you just started and aren't allowed to fly a cargo ship because of skill locks. But anyway, you need to fit your ship up for exploration scanning mess. If we do get a wormhole when I go probing, I'm not going to go into it this time. I will cover that in another video, but explain the gist of it if it does appear. And I did already throw the rough basics of the ship in. You're going to need a probe scanner, or a probe launcher to scan with probes, and we're going to be core scanner probing. We could be combat probing, but that's if I want to lock down, or not lock down, but make warpable drones or ships or a mobile tractor unit you left somewhere, etc. So we'll keep that with us. You need a relic analyzer to open and hack and open relic cans, and the same for a data analyzer. And of course, bring a propulsion device so you can close long spaces of distance. I'm going to throw in a processor unit or coprocessor to ease up some CPU usage. Got a whole lot of power, can I? Squeak a gun, alright. Always make sure on a basic laser to affix a crystal, or you are shooting nothing. Damage control? Aww. Alright. The gun uses too much CPU. That's funny. I don't think we'll need the gun. I guess we'll just run with the damage control. If I had another coprocessor. Anyway, unimportant. So, we've got a basic scanning ship ready to go. This ship, like I said, is the racial ship that does give bonuses to core and combat scanner probing, salvagers, and relic and data analyzer use. So it is the ship for the job. Now we must go to space. We could get one of 5 types of different sites once we do scan this thing down. It could be a gas site, not likely in high-sec, but who knows. Gas is a very valuable resource most of the time. There's various types of gas, and a couple of them kind of aren't worth the effort, but some of them are highly valuable. It could be a relic site, which is full of hackable cans that you open and get loot from. Ooh. Same with a data site, it'll have some cans. Both of those in lower security ratings. You might encounter NPCs in those sites. We could find a wormhole which could take us to a different part of the galaxy, or maybe get us killed, or it could be a combat site, like I said before. But anyway, we don't know, so you've got your probe launcher loaded and ready to go. Launch them probes. If you were in lower security space, I would advise fitting a cloak if able, because you can probe while cloaked. This button here in your little cluster is your scanners. Go to your probe scanner. And yes, I forgot that. I do not like the new probe scanning window myself, so let's see. It doesn't handle too much differently. It just looks a little funky. And it's windowed, unless I'm having trouble getting the bubbles to move like they used to. Yeah, that doesn't work the same way it used to. So for ease of access for me, and maybe for some of you people, if you go to general settings, uncheck the box to use the old probe scanner. And if you reopen, you will have vintage goodness. So we've got two anomalies. They're vaguely close to each other. Use these arrows on the sides of the box to move it around. You can grab the box itself and move it, but that seems very unwieldy to me sometimes. I end up putting it farther in or out of the direction that I intended to. Get it in there, and that's kind of a small radius to figure out the start point. So I'm going to go real big. If you drag the bubbles, yeah, it'll change your range. Keep whatever you're looking for within that overlap pocket in the core and hit scan or analyze. If anybody knows that little noise that the probes make when they're moving, it reminds me of something from an Atari game. Please comment it if you know what game that is. And since we don't care about it, I'll get rid of that green reading from that ombre deposit that we don't really care about. So we have a more specific reading on this, and as I did, if you double click on the signature, it'll focus your camera on it, so you can zoom in more and more and get very precise with your scan. But since I am so wide of a radius right now, I don't care too much to be perfectly on it, because once I zoom out, it looks like I am. So I'm going to chop that down, get a more precise scan, and wait a moment. This is a tedious process, but if we get data sites and other things sometimes, you end up making a whole lot of money. And the stuff that comes out of wormholes is worth ridiculous amounts of ISK. Oh, found a combat site. So, once I would scan it down farther, we would know what kind of combat site it was. I could look into that, see if I wanted to do it, hop in a ship with capable pew. Oh, it's over there. I had misread what I was looking at. And run that combat site. Probably a lower level version of running anomalies out in nullsec. Smaller ships, etc. There, now that I'm actually near the thing. From 4 AU to 0.5, that's too much. There we go. Yeah, every time you expand or contract this, it halves or doubles the amount of AU space it is searching in. Haunted yard? What? So that would be a haunted yard, whatever that entails. This other signature is out that way. So let's go look at it and hope it's something a little more interesting and accessible, because I was hoping to make this also a how to do hacking run through. It's a weird little mini game, more or less, within the game. And then if you win, you get loot. If you lose, it gets harder. If you lose too many times, the can explodes. So, there's that. But that is all part of Eve. Risk reward. If you don't jump at opportunity, you won't get them. Oh yeah, we just started on the signature, so beef up your range a little bit. And then rescan. Ooh, a wormhole. So, loose rundown of wormholes. They are a portal to another place in space. This could maybe be somewhere else in high sec, it could be somewhere in low sec, it could be in null, it could go to a wormhole system, but there's multiple tiers of wormhole systems. There's C classifications. But only some of those layers have connection to high sec as well. You can tell the difference between what manner of space the info on the wormhole itself tells you. So once we can look at it, we can vaguely figure at a glance, very vaguely, where it's going to take you. And then we scan and wait again. One more time. Yes, this is tedious and taking a while, but I did also want to simulate the fact of if I were a lower level character. I used the frigate race I have less skills in to do this with, so I did not have maxed out easy access skills and whip through this with a quickness. Or use sister probes. If you do use Sisters of Eve equipment, it probably will be very helpful. Not probably, it will, but it's more expensive. But as often with most things in this game, faction gear works better than Tech 1. And hey, it's a wormhole. So now it's 100% and it gives me a warpable thing. We could right click and just align towards it. And we don't technically need the map anymore. So we were pointed in the right direction towards our thing. And damn MR space, I put on the green skin, but from the local space glow, it just looks gold still. Hooray. So, I usually warp at distance to a wormhole the first time. You never know what's going on out there. Somebody might really want to kill somebody flipped out, even though Concord could descend upon them for attacking in high sec, but you could still run through the wormhole and escape. So, there's this portal in space and time, which takes us to unknown parts of space. So that will take me to another wormhole system. Not much traffic has gone through it, though. Always when you find a wormhole the first time, hit info on it, because yes, this will give you a vague... It'll take you to high security space, low security space, null security space. Unknown means it's going to be a wormhole system. There will be dangerous unknown, extremely dangerous unknown, and whatnot. So I think this would be a C1. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I don't know wormhole all that great. So I'm not going to take us into a wormhole system with my unarmed, very fragile ship. And that was how to do probing, I guess. Hopefully I can find some relic and data sites and make a rundown of that, because the first few times I did that, I know I was looking at a screen going, what am I supposed to do? So, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.